and you do it better. And so if you do it better, then fine. And you know what? It's always great to leave an element of mystery about how you create the magic anyway, because let's face it, most people, they just want it done. So what I will say to you is, this is all part of, you have to create the elevator pitch that actually works for you. If you are constantly going into networking events, trying to present yourself with words that don't feel natural to you and with words that don't inspire you with confidence, how are you ever going to win people over? People are not going to come to you if you're standing there going, yeah, and I'll do a bit of social media, and like, if you want some help with LinkedIn, come and talk to me. People are just going to be like, no, not coming to you at all. But if social media is driving you bananas, you might come to me because I actually know what to do with it. It doesn't drive me bananas at all. Well, actually, that's not strictly true, but anyway. So the whole point of an elevator pitch is actually to connect with people. It's not about selling your wares. Top tip, you are not going to sell your wares with a menu of what you provide. People aren't interested in that. People buy from people. What you're actually selling in your elevator pitch is you. There are 101 accountants out there. There are 101 social media people out there. There's 101 people who can sell you utilities at a better, or purport to sell them at a better rate. Of course, Phil will always do a better rate than anybody else, but people will buy from you, Ratan, because they like the way you deliver your elevator pitch. People will buy from you, Tim, because they like the way you present yourself. There's a million web designers out there. So what makes you different? And that's what your elevator pitch is all about. It's about getting people's attention. You have, and I would say, honestly, 60 seconds, too long. Nobody's going to listen to anybody for 60 seconds, particularly if they've never met you before, unless you are, I don't know, Lee Mack or one of those other comedians. So, you know, that's what's going to get your attention is because they are really entertaining. Most of the time, what you're looking for with your elevator pitch is to be memorable. You want to be memorable so that somebody goes, they made an impression, I want to talk to that person. So that's what your elevator pitch is about. So ditch all of those old ideas. I mean, actually, this group is a lot better than most when it comes to elevator pitches, because we really do the sizzle, not the sausage. But you only have to go to an FSB event and sit, or a Bob Big Breakfast event where you're sitting through 50 people with 1 minute. So what do you need to do for your elevator pitch if you are just trying to deliver that snappy, punchy thing? Here's some extra ideas for you. Bring a prop. You can do loads with a prop. And it really doesn't matter what kind of industry you're in. I mean, I'm in social media, but obviously we're the Babelmonkeys. Mr. Wesh actually gave this, Wraith gave this to me for my birthday last year. Secret tip, actually, guys, I'm not a big monkey fan. I just like the fact that they create chatter, but still, as a prop, it works really well. I've also got a banana somewhere with loads of letters inside. It's like a Scrabble board. That one works quite well. I don't know where it is at the moment. So think about what your business is and think about how that can relate to a prop. I mean, if you're an accountant, it might be quite good to get an abacus out, even if you're just going to rattle it around. A calculator, you see, I can't actually use one of them. They're a bit too complicated for me. But but there you go, Ratan. You see, calculators. Who needs a calculator when you have Ratan? So think about a prop that's actually going to work for your business. I mean, sure, for example, I would have thought that, a whole bunch of Tonka cars or something would have worked. Yeah, Hot Wheels, absolutely brilliant. Do you have one of these? Do you have one of these? I can get you some money for these. And also it's going to get people's attention. And that's the whole point. So the other thing that I will say about elevator pitches is, they say you have 60 seconds. Do not feel as if you have to fill the whole 60 seconds. I really love the way Amanda does it because she is so slow. She's so measured. I'm very aware at the moment I'm doing the thing that I'm about to tell you all not to do, which is gabble. I'm really sorry. I'm really tired and I gabble when I'm tired. But don't gabble, because the faster you speak, the less people retain what you're saying. So you are better off. I mean, my whole we're here to create, does social media drive you bananas, blogs of the monkeys nuts and all the rest of it. That little pitch of mine actually takes 25 seconds. But it gets me noticed because it's different, because it injects humor, it injects personality that is consistent with my brand. Babelmonkey is clearly a bit nutty, so we get away with stuff like that. So think about your brand and think about what you can inject into your pitch that actually sells your brand. It's consistent with your brand. Is there something quirky? Is it very straight-laced and it's something that you can actually have a bit of a giggle with on the side? Think about things like that. You're looking for ways to make it interesting. You're looking for ways to make people go, I need to talk to that person. I don't even want what they're selling. I just want to talk to that person, because it's all about making those connections. Because you can talk to somebody in a networking event this year, and 2 years down the line, you'll actually get something from them. And either they're giving you business or they're referring you business because you've kept in touch and they remember who you are. And it all happened because they liked your elevator pitch. So that's why they're important. There's one more thing I want to tell you about. So don't gabble, don't stuff it. Don't try and go on and on and on about, oh, I can do this and I can do that and I can do the other, because people won't remember it. So don't stuff it full of things. Just pick out a couple of really clear points that you want to get across. Keep it calm, keep it measured, funny if you can, because humor always works. Props help with the humor as well, and just let it flow. And if you can think of a metaphor, even better. So I don't know how many of you know Tracy Ann Barker from TA Barker Associates. She's my business coach, and she came to me because she was really uncomfortable with her delivering a pitch. She gets really, really upset about having to stand up in front of people. But she's a big rugby fan. So we ended up developing a pitch for her that works on the basis of, if you're a small business owner, you're like a rugby player on the pitch, but you're every player on the pitch, running around trying to fulfill every single role on the pitch. And she, as a business manager, she can actually help you determine which role you need to be playing at which point and which is most important. She got very comfortable with that. She's okay now. I mean, don't get me wrong, she still gets nervous, but she's better. So try and think of a metaphor for your business if you're not comfortable about actually talking about you and what you do and how you help people. Think about the metaphor that explains to people how you can help them. Then it's not about you, it's about the metaphor. That makes it a lot easier. And the final thing really is be disarmingly honest, because people will spot a phony. People know everybody's nervous about this sort of thing. And actually, people are okay with you showing that level of honesty. And also, if there are certain things that you're not particularly good at, if there's certain things that you don't enjoy, anything that actually allows people to see a part of you that they can go, oh my God, I totally feel that way, makes you relatable. That's why people will buy from you. So your elevator pitch is not a menu of what you're serving up. Your elevator pitch is giving people a reason to connect with you. And that's it.
Thank you very much. If everyone just unmutes themselves and give a big round of applause to Sarah Marsh Collings. It's very relevant to what we do in terms of the elevator pitch. So thank you very much, Sarah. Are there any questions? I think Lily put a question in the chat box about how long should an elevator pitch be?
I would suggest that really you don't want to make it any more than 25-30 seconds, because a lot of the time people aren't listening. If you're in a room, it's actually a little bit easier to keep people's attention sometimes. If you're on a Zoom, I would suggest you want to talk to somebody like Tim and get a background that makes you stand out. So whenever I look at my blue background against a whole, Muppet show, shall we say, it's always really immediately obvious. So that's going to help you stand out as well. And the visual, particularly online, the visual is so important. So 25-30 seconds for your actual pitch and a really good background will set you in really good stead.
Thank you very much. Sarah, any questions? Any other questions for Sarah?
I was going
Please
to
raise
say,
your hand or put them in the chat box. Tim Tim?
I think we chat occasionally, Sarah, about pushing and pulling. And one of the things you don't want to do is pushing people. Now, what that means is that you're saying, you keep telling everybody exactly what you do. At the end of the day, you just don't get attraction from that sort of conversation. So you want to find what actually makes people pull into your world, into what you're listening about. And it applies to when I do websites. It's all about pulling people in rather than pushing information to people. And if you get that right, it really does help at the end of the day.
It's all about you, not me.
Yeah, if for me, so I hadn't done any networking at all up until a couple of years ago with the COVID and stuff. So it's something I had to get involved in. And what Sarah says is, for me, it makes a lot of sense, because when I first started doing networking, it was very much about, right, get in there, give a list, get business. It was do networking to get business. And I don't know if other people are the same, but for me, networking has completely changed. I don't actually network to get business. In fact, I go into networking not expecting to get business. I literally go in there to meet people, build relationships. Some networking events are better than others. And then if business comes from it, for me, it's a bonus. I've stopped expecting it, because BNI is a poor example, but when I was in BNI, I go there expecting to get business, and if you don't get it, it's disappointing, and the edge just goes off of it. Now I go at a completely different angle and just be yourself and not expect anything from it, and if it does come, happy days. And I find that actually seems to work a little bit better.
Thank you very much, Jason, and it's so true as well. So don't go to a networking event expecting to get business. It's the know, like, and trust, isn't it? So that's what I do. Tony, you've had years and years of experience in networking, running groups and everything else. Would you like to add anything to what Sarah said?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say congratulations to the lovely Babelmonkey, Sarah Marsh Collins, because you've hit the nail on the head. Jason just hit the nail on the head as well. So did Tim Dawson. And that's probably why this group is getting successful. If we get to know each other and trust each other, and we don't bore each other, business will come. Believe me, it just happens. I can go back 20 years with somebody like Phil Groom, and he'll tell you business has come and it's been going on and on and on, just because we know each other and trust each other. So it's like a game of getting to know you, relax and getting to know you. That's how it happens. And if you need ideas, ask the group. Say, am I boring you? What would you like to hear from me? Nothing wrong with that. But a very constructive afternoon kind of kicked off by Sarah Marsh Collins. So thank you very much. Back to you, Chandra.
Thank you very much, Tony. I was just typing something there at the time, but listening to you intently. So we're just going to messaging Lillian about the breakout rooms. I think that was amazing. So thank you very much, Sarah. If you wouldn't mind summarising some of that, and we can pass it around to all the attendees, that would be great. Lillian, did we stop recording, by the way?
Oh, yes. Wait a moment.